You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network. What is going on, NBL Network? It's February 20th. That's right. It's a Monday, broadcast number 54. I'm your host, Bomber, for the pregame show. I'm joined alongside my host, co-host, actually, for the pregame show. We got a lot of interesting things happening today as we have a big game on NBL Live. That's right. We got the Washington Redskins headed into New York, or should I say New Jersey, to play the New York Jets. It's going to be a big game, Sonny.
Yeah, big game coming up. The New York Jets are looking to try to stay atop that AFC East. The Washington Redskins looking to see if they can keep the momentum going after Kirk Cousins went down, and if the new quarterback can keep them going towards the promised land.
Yeah, that's the big storyline we got going right now. That's right. The New York Jets are at home 3-2, taking on the Washington Redskins, who won the NFC East last year, looking to get back in that division race as the Cowboys and the Giants have really been stepping it up lately. Even the Eagles coming back along, making it for a real tough division. But first and foremost, we are starting the NBL pregame show off with these no power rankings. That's right, the bottom of the league, guys, man. I'm looking at this list, and I'm thinking, okay, this team, that team. But, man, I expected a lot more from these San Francisco 49ers last year. Deca Dog was the most improved owner in the NBL, and usually that means a good season the next year. It just hasn't panned out for him thus far.
No, it really hasn't, and I think a lot of it goes back to Woodard, the quarterback there. 24 interceptions on the year already. Not a good start there for him. I'm not sure what his outlook with the team looks like going forward. Bad decision-making across the board there. And to me, the one that really stands out and who I really thought was going to make a big jump this year but really hasn't done that is those Ravens. Big game against the Bengals on NBL Live earlier this year, shootout. But really, since then, he's been getting beat down, and it's really not been a good look for the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens and the Niners might be the youngest two teams in the NBL right now. Both of them struggling. Combined record of 1-10. Really hope to see them step up. But what's your biggest disappointment thus far, man? The Buffalo Bills? I mean, this is a team that made the playoffs last year, won the AFC East. First round had a big victory versus your Bengals, and now they're 1-5 right now, and they can't buy a win.
No, they can't buy a win at all, obviously. Losing Robert Woods early in the year, the number 2 to Sammy Watkins, has hurt the team. That was their number 2 target. Yep. He's not been there. They're still trying to figure out what they're doing at the quarterback position. They thought it was going to be Phillip Rivers. Ended up becoming RG3 after an injury early on. Just a lot of discourse in Buffalo. I know they're stacked up for the next draft, and I think they're looking ahead to that already, as they will have a high pick, we're guessing, and they're probably looking for their quarterback of the future.
Yeah, quarterback carousel in Buffalo, as you mentioned earlier, Phillip Rivers can't stay healthy, man. This is most likely, I'm feeling, last year in the NBL, NBL season 22 right now. I think he's going to hang it up after this year. He just can't stay healthy. They even started Cardell Jones, man. I mean, it's getting really desperate over there in Buffalo. And shout out to hashtag Call Overrated, still doing his thing. That's right, Oakland Raiders 1-4. But we're not even going to acknowledge them right now. They should be doing better. They got to do better, man. They're still alive in their division, but we got to see more from them. Now, moving forward in the pregame show, we're going to move ahead and talk about these top 10 highlights. That's right. Heartless, he does the top 10 highlights. You got to start making highlights for your team and sending them to him because you want to get on this video. Trust me. Sonny, how impressed were you with those top 10 highlights that we're going to be getting every season now? We started NBL season 21 last year, and this year, as you see the graphic right there, NBL season 22, we got a new look, a new thumbnail looking fresh. Sonny, how excited are you for these highlights, and how much did you enjoy them last season?
Well, seeing those come across the screen last year was amazing. The things he's done as far as taking those highlights and really accenting upon them and really showing what NBL is all about. It's taking us to new heights, and that's something that I'm hyped to get on this year, trying to push those highlights in there. Hopefully I've got some highlights to get on there later this year. Not so far this year, but looking to the future, a lot of highlights trying to get there. And I encourage everybody out there, make sure you're recording those highlights. Heartless will make sure they get on there. And try to be number one, guys. It's a big honor here at NBL. There's a lot of big plays, a lot of big players. Be number one. Do something important for the league.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. We always preach be number one. We're the king of the franchise mode. That's our new slogan that we're rolling with. It's going to be on the back of our new sweet T-shirts that Fry got cooking up for us. So we got a lot of things going on. But send in your highlights. I believe around week 15 he shuts it down and he starts putting it together. So we're going to give you a little snippet from last year, and he put together this nice intro for the top 10. Now this isn't the top 10 highlights, but this part of the video just pretty much recaps the entire season of the greatness that was going on in NBL season 21. So I'm going to get our guy behind the scenes pulling the strings. That's right, Gibbs is going to play this clip for you. And you guys in the chat, give us some feedback. What do you think about this video? This is the first part of the intro on our top 10 highlights from season 21 last year. We expect it to be even bigger this year. So Heartless, man, you got a lot to live up to because you filled them shoes up too big last year. So let's check out this little highlight clip.
That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen. Don't be surprised for a play action. That's a nice spin move there.
He goes back to the other side.
What an interception! Almost a one-point. Picked off by Eric Reed. Roethlisberger throws. It's complete. Sinead's going.
How do you make that catch?
Oh my goodness!
Most valuable player is.
All right, and we're back, man. What a great video. Big shout out to Heartless over there. And he stated in the chat, y'all thought the last one was good. Watch me work. So he's hyping it up too, so we can only expect greatness from him moving forward, as this is the NBL, king of the franchise mode, MaddenBomberLeague.com. Don't forget to give us a follow at Bomber League, and also subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button in the chat. We got about 26 people watching right now. Let's see about 27 likes. Let's do the impossible. Let's shoot for that. All right, guys, so we're going to move forward in the pregame show, and right now we're going to head and talk about middle linebacker Brandon Marshall for the Denver Broncos. I've been carrying this defense, Sonny, and I really like the Broncos moving forward this year. I think this team's going to win the AFC West, and I think they're going to take it. I think they're going to take it a step farther. I expect them to be somewhere deep in the playoffs. They're not going to be one and done this year, in my opinion.
No, not at all. And that's because they're led by the middle linebacker, Brandon Marshall, eighth-year man out of Nevada. 5 interceptions, tied for the lead in the league. That defense is different when he's lurking in the middle of the field. You've got Von Miller bringing the pressure off the edge, and you've got a good secondary back there. They just re-signed Chris Lewis, or not Chris Lewis Harris, but Harris Jr., and then they also have Bradley Roby back there. So they've got a nice secondary, but when you've got a guy in the middle of the field like Brandon Marshall, it really is a game changer because it takes away the center of that field.
Yeah, he had a really nice interception on Stafford. Y'all check it out after this game. He was just lurking in the middle of the field, and the guy just can make some plays in coverage. And he also is great against the rush, man. He comes in there for some rush support as well. So he's a prototype middle linebacker, the guy that you want to have on your team that can basically be a leader for the defensive side of the field, an anchor, and he can get it done on pass coverage as well as rush protection. So moving forward on that, we got the big game tonight. That's right. We said it earlier. That's the New York Jets at home versus the Washington Redskins, the AFC East versus the NFC East. Going to be a good game tonight, Sonny. Where do you see this game going?
Oh, well, I think it all comes back down to the quarterback play. The second-year man out of Auburn, quarterback Peter Heap. He's stepping in for the injured Kirk Cousins. Cousins going to miss some time in Washington in a big year for Cousins. People thought this could be his last year if he didn't perform. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But Heap's the man making the plays behind that line, and I'm not sure he can do it. He's a guy that, he was a late-round pick, 7th-round pick. Not sure he's our next Tom Brady, but 9 for 12 in his last outing, only 126 yards. I think the key to this game is, can the New York Jets defense and that amazing Jets defensive line get to the second-year man and really rattle him in this game?
Yeah, I'm looking at this game tonight. I'm favoring the Jets just because of the quarterback play. No Kirk Cousins, that's going to hurt. But the hashtag that's been, it hasn't taken over hashtag Carver rated. But don't sleep on Heap. Hashtag don't sleep on Heap. The Redskin fans have been trying to push that. They believe in this guy. 75% completion percentage week 5 versus New England when Kirk Cousins went down. He didn't throw for a ton of yards, but, I mean, QBR 101, he managed the game fairly well. Like we said, we don't think he's going to be a Tom Brady. Nobody can really believe that. He just doesn't have the ability, and you don't see that kind of spark. But can he hold them steady for Kirk Cousins' return, Sonny?
You know, that just don't wreck the ship. You know, a lot of times they say, here's the keys to the car, don't wreck it. And I think that's what the outlook here in Washington is. Matt Jones still having a good year. Keith Marshall as well, helping out, both over 4.5 yards a carry. I think at this point, Peter Heap, just don't wreck the car, and the Redskins will be all right.
And with that being said, I'm taking the Jets tonight. I'm going to say 21-17, New York Jets. Sonny will give his prediction when the game kicks off, and it's about to happen right now. So we're going to go to our intro, and then we're going back to the field, and you're going to have Sonny Weaver and Bomber on the call.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price.
Not here! Not ever!
Welcome, everybody, to NBL Live week number 6, New York Jets versus the Washington Redskins. I'm Sonny Weaver alongside Bomber, and the New York Jets will be kicking off to start this week 6 game. Washington with the ball, and that's where we're going to get to see second-year man Peter Heap come out. We talked about it in the pregame, Bomber. Peter Heap, not the projected starter coming into the year, but so far so good with one game under his belt, 9 for 12, 126 yards and a touchdown. Not wrecking the car, trying to steer this team. Can he do it against this good New York Jets defensive line?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. I think it's going to come down to the running game. The Washington Redskins have been predicated. Their success has been predicated on running the ball. Matt Jones, 60 carries, 281 yards, 3 touchdowns. Keith Marshall, who got the back seat to Matt Jones. He was dominating last year, easily, arguably, an MVP candidate season for Keith Marshall. He hasn't got the carries this year. 15 attempts, 77 yards. He's 5.1 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. They said they just didn't feel comfortable with Keith Marshall because he was getting hurt too much. So now they're back with Matt Jones, and we're going to see a little bit of Heap early. And he finds a nice quick corner route and tackled by number 50. That one could have gone to the house early.
Yeah, Heap to Jordan Reed, and Jordan Reed's going to be any young quarterback's best friend, a very athletic tight end that can get open right there, used to some separation against the man coverage. So Heap will come out here in a pistol set, 3 wide receivers, and it's going to be a handoff to Jones, who finds a big hole up the middle, stumbles down to the 46-yard line. And so as we look to the chat, we're getting a lot of Jets predictions. It looks like Jets are ruling the day here in the prediction market, but it does appear across the board a lot of our viewers think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, it definitely could be. But I just don't know if Heat can keep up with that. But maybe some big runs by Washington. Maybe they put up 150, 170 on the ground. But like you said, it's going to be tough versus this defensive line from the Jets that seems to be getting a little abused lately. 2 carries, 15 yards early for Matt Jones.
Yeah, and Matt Jones running really well, looking for that cutback lane. Both these runs we've seen early in this game, he's cut back to the left. I think he's seen some over-pursuing there by that Jets defensive line. Something to watch as we get deeper into the game. So Heap's going to come out here in an I formation set. Read on the line at the end. It looks like Jones is out, and we're going to get a backup in there. Running back, they drop back on the screen pass, and that does get outside down to the 35-yard line for a moderate game on first down. So it appears, Bomber, that the passing game so far has been safe passes for the second-year man out of Auburn, Heat.
Yeah, you got a nice little corner route to Jordan Reed, which is, one of their leaders on offense. He can get open and create that separation, and Heap doesn't have to make really a difficult throw. Then a screenplay to Matt Jones. So what I'm seeing from Heap is really short stuff as they run slants there, hit underneath to their fullback, it looks like, number 48. Possibly their tight end. No, fullback out the backfield. That's right, on quick slants. And like you said, another underneath pass for Peter Heap, just keeping it simple for the really young and inexperienced quarterback that they have right now currently since Kirk Cousins is hurt.
Yeah, and we hit on that a little bit. Kirk Cousins injured early in the season. Heap takes over in the last game, and so far so good for the second-year man. Here on first down, he's under center. It's going to be a pitch outside to Jones. Jones trying to work his way out, gets pushed back. can't find any room, and he's going to lose a couple yards on the play. 2nd and 14, and not what they're looking for here for the young quarterback. You got to keep him in good down and distance, and 2nd and 14 is not that.
Well, they moved down the field. They're in field goal range. It's going to rely a lot on this defense today for the Washington Redskins. And as I said earlier, unless their offensive rushing attack, which fell off a little bit since it's Matt Jones now, 10th in the league, unless they can really get some big hitter plays, I expect this to come down to, field goals. Like I said, 21-17, maybe a touchdown here or there, but I don't expect a real high-scoring game. But it could get out of hand, man. You never know with these New York Jets.
No, and Heap with another a little more dangerous pass there for Heap, but Heap gets it across the middle of the field, picks up 11 on the play, and now a 3rd and 3, definitely a manageable position here, especially when you've got a running attack like they've had so far this game. Jordan Reed with another reception on the play. So Heap comes out this time, 3rd and 3, shotgun set. It's going to be Jones to his right, 3 wide receivers to the left. Heap changed the play at the line. He's going to drop back to throw on the play, open field. Wow, big hit on the play. He had an open receiver running wide
right
open
in front
down
of
the
him.
field. I was in a little bit of shock that he didn't see the guy with no one within 10 yards.
And that's what you get with an inexperienced, very young quarterback, unproven quarterback, as the field goal goes through, puts Washington up 3-0 early, but that could have easily been 7 right there. You had Jordan Reed running a seam right in front of him. I mean, he must have hiked the ball and turned his head immediately because he completely missed the guy right in front of him, wide open down the field.
Yeah, and at that point, they had a wide receiver down the middle of the field. It looked like they were looking at that running back out of the backfield. Instead of the linebacker taking the seam route, they jumped down on the running back that the quarterback was looking at, and that was a wide open attack. So big miss there by the Washington Redskins. Could have been big. Instead, it's not. Gabriel Woodson now will be coming out to lead the Jets on the first drive.
Yeah, I like to see what Gabe Woodson can do, man. A lot of hype with him. I also like Lockhart in the backfield. I think this is the 2 youngest, duo, halfback, quarterback duo that I really feel just has this upside and this potential to really take the Jets far in the near future. I think they're going to win the division this year, but I think this team has a legitimate chance of building themselves an offensive, top 10, top 5 team that could really propel this team, especially in the AFC, to some playoff wins in the near future. And beautiful throw in the back from Gabe Woodson. We talked about him. Sonny, you got to be loving that. I mean, we just had a quarterback who missed a wide open guy. Woodson just throws it right down the middle of the field just beautifully.
Yeah, and Quincy Enunwa stepping in big. Talking to the coaching staff this week, their main target, Robbie Anderson, really not a big focus in this game. I know they were looking to try to get some other guys involved, thinking that Anderson would be taken out. So Enunwa with the first catch is big as we get Woodson dropping back here with pressure up the middle, and that's going to be a big sack by Sylvester. And that, my friends, is the first splash play of the game.
You see, you're trying to take a shot down the field, and it just opens you up. It was splash play one way or another. It was going to be a big play down the field for a touchdown, team that drives the ball like the Jets like to do, or it was going to be a potential for a sack, and they sent the blitz, and it was just great play calling by the Washington Redskins.
And so they handed off to Lockhart, and not much happening there. So 3rd and 16. And this is not a situation when, although we're not talking about a quarterback as young as Heap, Woodson, not a veteran of NBL in his own right. So 3rd and 16, not a place where you really want to be with the young quarterback. I would hope that right now the Jets are thinking something underneath. There aren't many plays in the playbook for 3rd and 16, and this is normally where you see a turnover.
And this comes back to that first down play action shot. Then there's a turnover with Gabe Woodson. Interception. Looks like Josh Norman gets an interception on Gabe. Man, wow, what a bad throw into traffic. They're really just trying to pick up the first down, and the Jets, man, they put themselves in a hole, and then they made a bad throw, and now they lose the field position.
Yeah, and I promise, folks, I'm not clairvoyant. I just know when bad things are about to happen. So Woodson with the interception. Instead, we get Heap out here goes underneath nice and easy. And that's going to be a first down on the play. Heap 5 for 6, 55 yards. Not big plays downfield, but efficiently working down the field. We talked about before that play, though, Woodson dropping back on 3rd and 16, trying to get it all back is never a good position to put your young quarterback in.
Yeah, you got a quarterback like Gabriel Woodson who can really drive the ball down the field. You start thinking, well, we can force it down the field. 3rd and long is a little nice seal. Oh, man, it looks like could have got to the edge there, just didn't make it happen. Number 22 for the Washington Redskins. Man, That looked like it had potential to be a really big play there, Sonny, that just couldn't get it done around the edge. But, you're looking at Gabe Woodson. You got to get the ball to Lockhart a little bit more. You got yourself in that long down and distance because you didn't run the ball on first down. You had an opportunity to establish the run early. You try to go with a deep pass play, and you take an 8-yard loss on a sack. Those are the kind of plays that are really going to come back to bite a Jets team who struggles to move the ball down the field.
And like you said, the big thing is struggling to move the ball down the field. So he throws the ball there on second down. That's a big reception. I think that's once again to the tight end, Jordan Reed. So Reed quickly has become Heap's favorite target, 3 for 54. And I think that's of the full 64 yards that Heap has thrown for this game. So Heap and Reed have become good friends in this game. You're going to get Heap set up under center here for this next play as he hands off to Jones. Jones barreling through traffic for a 3-yard gain. And that's a good gain there on first down.
Yeah, nice first down right there for the Washington Redskins as they move into the red zone now at the 17-yard line. But don't fear, New York. Hold them to a field goal. They don't have a quarterback. They're going to have to run the ball on you here. It's tight spaces. This is where a quarterback like Heap is really going to struggle, and this is going to give your defense an opportunity to be a little aggressive against the run game and still be able to cover the pass because you don't have to worry about getting beat over the top. And it really doesn't even look like Heap is interested in going anywhere intermediate to deep this early in the game.
No, not really. We look out to our chat here in our YouTube chat, and it looks like Draco's already flipping his pick, trying to get from the Redskins, from the Jets to the Redskins. Draco, there's no flip-flops allowed here on NBL Live.
All right, handoff up the middle. It's going to be a tackle as, they tried to run the ball there on a halfback smash. Just didn't get nothing. 3rd and 7 for Heap here, man. This is going to be a real opportunity to see if Washington really believes in this guy. I think a little draw play here, potentially pick it up and just settle for 3 is where I would go because I would like to see if the Jets can really put up points early before I start selling out and trying to make plays down the field with such a young quarterback. And they're going to drop back, and they're looking to pass the ball down the field, and they actually go back to the flats, but he stumbles. It looks like number 86, Jordan Reed, could not pick up the first down, lost his footing, and it's going to be another field goal for the Washington Redskins.
And you never want to settle for a field goal, but at the same time, it appears 6-0 is better than what the Jets have been able to do this game. Woodson not really being able to put anything together, but he's going to get a second shot here as they kick off to the New York Jets.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more of a running attack from New York on this drive. They really struggled, getting protection in the pass game. It seemed like Washington was ready for it. I think a draw play or something up the middle really could help establish this run game early.
You talked about it earlier. Lockhart needs to be a focus of this offense. Woodson, if Anderson they believe to be taken out of this game, Lockhart is probably where I'm going to focus early on in this down and drive.
Yeah, I like Lockhart, and I think they have to establish both the run and the pass to have the balance as they find Dye Jr. on a little shallow cross, and this was a big free agency pickup during the preseason time. That's Dante Day Jr. He has 19 receptions, now 20, for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns for this Jets offense, second on the team. This guy's been a great contributor. Woodson seems to love him. He played for the New Orleans Saints last year. I think this guy has a lot of upside in this offense.
Yeah, I think they've got the weapons here for Woodson. A lot of things they could be doing here. He just has to find them as they get the ball to Lockhart there. Not a whole lot going. 3 rushes, 2 yards. Not a good game for Lockhart. Maybe trying something to the outside. They've tried to work between the tackles so far, not paying many dividends. Maybe something off to the side, a toss or some sort of sweep.
Maybe, a little less predictable on the run plays for the New York Jets. But I like to see them stay with it. Don't go away from it. Even though you're struggling picking up yards right now, to go into a deep shot or some kind of shot down the field, I think it's a little early for that. I want to bring the defense in before I go that as they run a little play to Nunwa. Quincy, man, one of the favorite targets for Delvar. He really loves this guy, and he really believes in him at the wide receiver position. Quincy not having one of his better years thus far. Only 5 catches, 48 yards coming into this game.
But Anunwal so far this game has been a little bit of a threat here. One of the better threats they've had so far this game. You talked about sucking them in. Those screen passes, those runs will start bringing that defense down. And that's where we're going to see the shots. Delvar and this coaching staff really do like to take their shots downfield. I'm surprised we haven't seen many of them yet this game. But that is something they're quite inept at doing. Anunwa again with the big 3rd down conversion. And so Anunwa, the favorite target here of Woodson so far in this game.
I love that play calling right there, Sonny. I mean, you sit him right in the middle of the field. It was man defense. You know, he got the separation because Anunwa Quincy is just so athletic. I mean, he's pretty much kind of a freak as far as being a third or fourth wide receiver on your depth chart. He gives you that potential weapon. As you see right there, he goes into the middle of the field, sits down against man, picks up the first down. But you know what that's going to do, Sonny? That's going to start bringing that defense in. And when that defense starts coming in, that's when those shots over the top, you got Robbie Anderson, you got Dye Jr. It also is going to help out that running game, I believe. I think if he's one tackle away from breaking a big one, that's when Lockhart is his most dangerous in the backfield.
Yeah, and on that play, Lockhart had a blocker there. If he would have just hesitated for a second, he could have cut it back down. Say he tries to make a move to the outside. Not much happening there. So we're going to get that 2nd and 7 down here for Woodson on the play as he's going to drop back there. And he's going to throw it over the middle, and that's going to go to Smallwood. Good throw to Smallwood. Woodson to Smallwood. That's a good combination right there.
Yeah, Smallwood over the middle. That was a nice throw, man. Nice read by the quarterback. Looking good for Woodson thus far on this drive. But I'll tell you what's really going on and what's really looking great for this New York Jets team is the fact that they're staying with the run. So even though the run's getting them 2 to 3 yards, they're staying with it, and they're not just going too pass heavy like they did on that first drive, which resulted in an interception. That pretty much changed the dynamic of this game. It could be 3-0 right now. Once again, they run a play action, and here comes the edge pressure, and the former Cowboy DeMarcus Lawrence takes down quarterback Gabriel Woodson, and another 2nd and very, very long for the New York Jets, Sonny.
And those splash plays right there, folks, putting a young quarterback in a bad position. And get ready, 2nd and 21. Are we going to see a shot play here? No, it's going to be a handoff to Lockhart, but now you're going to get that 3rd and long, and that's where we saw Woodson earlier throw an interception. If you're on shot patrol right now, getting ready to take another shot for the Sonny Weaver shot play call, get ready because I expect another one to come right here.
Okay, this is what I think the Jets should do on this 3rd and 18. They're at the 46-yard line. I think they're about 5 to 7 yards from being able to kick a field goal. Their kicker has a very strong leg, and I think that's where they should aim to go right here and just take the field goal, take the 6 to 3 to get the ball after the half. So there's a lot of positivity if they can come away with 3 on this drive.
3 would be big, and that's what I'm playing for right now. I'm not playing for 6. I'm playing for 3 because that's a long way to go as they hand it off, and Lockhart must be fighting there. It sounds like the coaching staff may have been listening to you, Bomber, because they checked down to a run, but I'm not sure they quite picked up enough to kick the field goal.
Yeah, it would be a long field goal here, probably somewhere around 60 yards. I mean, it goes back to that sack. I mean, that's 2 sacks that have taken this team out of field goal range, and it just really is killing the momentum on this Jets team, who was on a pretty substantial drive there. They were moving the ball down the field. They were a pass away from being in field goal range, a run away from being in field goal range, and they took a big sack and put them at a 2nd and 21. That's 11 yards lost, and that really just changing the dynamic and flow of this game for the New York Jets offense.
And not a good punt there. So from the 40-yard line, they kick it into the end zone, so they only net 20 yards on that punt. Whereas I was thinking that, you could flip the field position a little bit there, pin them inside the 5. Instead, they kicked it into the end zone. 20 yards now. And Washington Redskins got a chance to score here before half as he throwing it downfield, intercepted. Big splash play there by Burris. Tipped off the hands of the wide receiver, and he can't be too happy with his wide receiver right now after that play.
He makes a good throw, throws to his number 2 wide receiver, and it just doesn't come down with the ball. Was that Crowder over there on the left or Dotson? One of those wide receivers bounces right off their fingertips. Defense gets a big play. Now they're right back in it.
Yeah, and so Lockhart's going to take the carry outside, breaking tackles. Now Lockhart fumbles, and we got another splash play.
It's turnover after turnover in New York right now. Washington versus the New York Jets. Both of these teams 3-2 right now, looking to stay above 500. Man, that's just a big turnover, tough turnover for Lockhart, but it's still early in the game, only 6-0. Still a lot of football left in this ball game.
I'm not sure who wants to win this game right now. No one wants to hold on to the ball. We get Heat back out here again. Hopefully his wide receiver can hang on to the ball this time as he drops back on 1st down, staying in the pocket, throwing it downfield. And that's a dropped reception, not helping his quarterback out. Crowder hits him in the hands and drops the ball there. So that's going to set up 2nd and 10.
That's a tough catch for Jamison Crowder. Not really a big catch in traffic guy, a guy you like to get out in the open field. The ball was placed, relatively well on that pass, but once again, it's going to come down to the receivers in this game if they're going to be able to make those catches because it looks like Heap's willing to drill the ball in there and Woodson as well.
Yeah, been very impressed with Heap up to this point in this game, as we're going to get Marshall there for the second handoff of the game as 1 minute ticks down on the clock. Heap's really placed the ball in the right position so far this game. Outside of that one kind of tip pass for the interception, he's been on the game. Very impressed with the second-year man here out of Auburn.
Yeah, I'd like to see some adjustments from the New York Jets defense coming out of halftime and really putting some more pressure on Heap. I'd like to see how he feels with a lot less of a clean pocket. As he has all the time in the world right there and just dumps it down. I mean, he's making the right decision, but the amount of time that he's having in the pocket is just pretty ridiculous. If you're the New York Jets defensive line, you got to get pressure to this young guy. That was the whole focus this whole week, leading up to this game. Get pressure on the young guy, force him to make those throws under pressure and not have all the time to just sit in the pocket, and it just hasn't happened in this first half.
Yeah, we talked about this vaunted New York Jet defensive line, and we really haven't seen a whole lot from this game. There have been pressure at times, but for the most part, Heap's been clean, and Heap's had all the time in the world to make the throws he needs to play, as they do run the ball there for 9 yards, setting up a 2nd and 1 with 29 seconds left on the clock. And it looks like the Washington Redskins just trying to get in field goal range here. I'd like to see maybe a shot or two downfield to try to score a touchdown.
This is a big play here. I don't know, Sonny. I don't know if this is time to take that, because the Jets have proven they can go on move the chains a couple times, but they're inevitably just going to turn it over. So let's just get the field goal here. Let's not worry about trying to drive the ball down the field and make another error, as he goes underneath again, finds Crowder, takes him down to the New York Jet 37-yard line, 9 for 12, 101 yards, 1 pick, which really isn't his fault. So let's take that away from him right now. 9 for 12, another high completion percentage game thus far for the young Heap. Hashtag don't sleep on Heap. This might be the real deal in Washington.
Yeah, and that was a veteran move by Crowder to get out of bounds, saving that Washington Redskins timeout, as Heap drops back here on first down, throwing it outside to Gilchrist down to the 20-yard line. They called the last timeout, and Heap's going to get a couple shots here at the end zone with 19 seconds left.
Yeah, here's my issue. You're going to run man defense. You got to protect against that corner route. That's 2 or 3 times I've seen that happen thus far to that New York Jets defense. They got to be a little smarter in recognizing when they're in man. This guy's looking for the quick corner route on the outside.
And so Heap here, one thing he can't do is take a sack with only 19 seconds left on the clock. No timeouts. Heap's dropping the back. Plenty of time in the pocket. Throws it. And that should have been picked off by Burris. Burris gets his hands on it for what should have been the second interception of the game. And that was really Heap's first really bad read of this game.
And that's it. I mean, someone in his ear saying, let's go for 7. Let's go get 7 right now. And I just don't see it. This Jets defense is too dangerous. They got a lot of athleticism in that secondary. I don't really want to test it this early. I take the 9. That puts you up 2 scores, okay? That's 2 scores that the Jets have proven they can't get 1. So that's good feeling going into halftime. Just settle for the 3.
So Heap here on second down, throwing downfield, and that's caught. But they're going to say he's out of bounds. I thought he drug his feet, and they're not going to take that to a review. So instead, Jordan Reed taking him down to the 2-yard line. That's going to move him back to the 20 once again. Only 10 seconds left here. Hopefully, Washington Redskins realize they're going to have to get this field goal off, and it looks like they do send the field goal team out there. So field goal unit sets up for the kick. It's up, and it is going to be through the upright. So Washington goes up 9-0 here in New York, here on NBL Live Week 6 with 6 seconds left. The Jets are going to get the kick.
Yeah, it's going to take us into halftime. Jets get the ball coming out of halftime, down 9-0. Hopefully we see a different game plan from the New York Jets. Go on a real substantial drive to start the second half and put some points on the board. I need to see 3. I don't need to see 7. Just come away with the field goal. You've been in field goal range twice already. You have 0 points. It's time to kind of close up some of the mistakes and be a little bit more efficient in this second half, and you'll be right in this game.
Yeah, so let's turn to the chat here. Go ahead and post your predictions. We got a 9-0 game here in New York. Is Washington going to be able to hold on to this lead, or are the Jets going to be able to claw back in? The first thing they're going to have to do, though, is hang on to the ball. So, Bomber, as we wait for those predictions coming from the chat, what are your thoughts here for the New York Jets who will be taking this kickoff in the second half?
My thoughts are keep a balanced offense. You don't have to get it all in one play. You've moved down the field being, moving the chains, being strategic, and then you get a little bit, you try to take a shot. You got to slow down. It's okay. Come away with 3 and you're fine. But go on a nice long drive. I want to see 3 to 4 minutes eat off the game clock right here. I want to see them keep their defense off the field for a little bit and get some rhythm on offense. And I want to see some Robbie Anderson get involved a little bit early. And there goes Robbie Anderson right on cue.
He's on cue. I think Bomber's in the headset of the offensive coordinator as we get our first taste of Robbie Anderson on the day, the Jets' leading wide receiver here with his first catch. And that's for a first down, so it's going to take him out to the 39-yard line. And that's where Woodson will set back up. Smallwood in the backfield with Lockhart. Anunua in the slot, Dye on the outside along with Anderson. It's going to be a handoff to Lockhart, who cuts back right off the start, pushes upfield for a gain of 6. One of his better runs so far today.
Nice ball carrier vision right there by Lockhart. You know, Lockhart, man, I mean, he might be one of the most underrated halfbacks in the NBL. I mean, this is a guy who's having a pretty good season, averaging 4.2 yards per carry, over 300-plus yards on the year, and 5 touchdowns. Has yet to have 1,000 yards in the NBL. This is his 3rd season in. He was drafted in the 1st round, 26 overall. So big expectations for Lockhart. And he hasn't broken 1,000 yards, so he hasn't really lived up to it, even though last year he averaged 5.1 yards per carry.
Woodson's going to connect with Dye Jr. underneath there, and that's going to be the first down. Woodson, we talked about Heap's efficiency. Woodson 7 of 8 for 78 yards, 1 interception. So his only incompletion on the game so far has been an interception. Woodson, once again, not pushing it downfield this game, but being really efficient so far.
Well, and he's tried to push it downfield, Sonny. Let's not lie, and that didn't end up too well for him. And he's been sacked twice looking downfield. So they needed to bring it back in. They're not getting the protection that they wanted, and I think a lot of it's due to the defensive lineman DeMarcus Lawrence from the Dallas Cowboys. They got him in free agency. He wanted to come to a division rival. Went to the Redskins, who won the division last year. So, you know, a lot of things involved his decision-making in coming to the Washington Redskins, but, man, he has been tremendous on the defensive line. And here comes a corner blitz. He's got to get rid of it early, and he goes out the back foot and finds Smallwood, a.k.a. Tiny D. Number 89 gets the first down, and now they're back in that, that vaunted Washington Redskins field goal territory on that side of the ball. And it's going to be very interesting to see if the Jets can hold up and at least come away with some points here this time.
And so after that play, we're going to have to remember that name later for Smallwood. So after that play, Woodson's going to throw the quick slant out there to Robbie Anderson, who's going to take it down. That's going to be about 9 yards on the play. And that's going to set up a 2nd and 1.
You see Woodson throwing off his back foot a little bit early. He hasn't really got, he just looks a little panicky in the pocket, and I guess he should be. He's been under a lot of pressure. As you see Woodson, a lot of his throws, he's been on the move. He hasn't been really able to set his feet. So we're not seeing the best of Woodson right here, but we definitely are seeing as he drops back a little bit longer and finds Lockhart over the middle, who can't hold on to it. Number 50 rips it out of his hands. He had a couple underneath throws there and didn't take the pass. Maybe a little second guessing of himself right now. Not too comfortable in the pocket for the young Gabriel Woodson, quarterback of the New York Jets.
No, he's getting happy feet in the pocket. You see him start drifting out of the pocket rather than stepping up, and that's a telltale sign that he's getting a little scared of getting hit here. So Woodson with the play action here on 3rd and 1, throwing it across to Dye Jr., who takes the hit but falls down at the 19-yard line. So Woodson to Dye picks up the 1st and 10. So we've got a 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line, and the New York Jets enter the red zone for the first time this game, knocking on the door, trying to challenge these Washington Redskins and get some points on the board.
Yeah, at this point, now they're on the 19. It's 1st and 10. I want to see 7, man. I want to see them put 6 on the board, get that extra point, and make this a 9-7 game. As I said, they needed to go on that long drive, 3 to 4 minutes. Underneath was open, and he didn't take it. He forces it to the left side of the field, and the wide receiver looks like he just died on the route. But he definitely had that drag open coming across the field, Sonny. Was that a mistake he didn't throw there?
Yeah, I think Woodson didn't see that. He was looking outside the whole time, and that cost him. That was actually Woodson's first real inaccurate throw of the game. Not just bad decision, but bad throw. Maybe on the wide receiver, but definitely on the quarterback as well. So Jets knocking on the door here, 2nd and 10. They come out in a single back set, 2 tight ends, and Woodson looks to be changing the play at the line. Taking a lot of time off the clock here as the play clock ticks under 10 seconds, 8 seconds on the clock. Woodson gets set, flips the play again. It's going to be handoff to Lockhart. Lockhart gets stonewalled in the backfield.
What a hit. Wow, there's a wall there.
Lockhart's going to have to check his teeth after that one, folks, because he may have just busted something up. So 3rd and 12 now for Woodson. And I'll tell you what, this running game has not really produced a whole lot during this game. So
I would have liked for the Jets to just call timeout there. I mean, they shuffled through 3 or 4 plays. They weren't comfortable with what they were doing, and I would have just appreciated more of a timeout as Woodson tries to force it on a post, on ace post to Robbie Anderson, the leading receiver for this team, and no bueno. It's going to be 4th and 12, field goal for the New York Jets.
Yeah, that that was forcing the ball the whole way through. They didn't look them off. And so the Jets do get on the board, though. So we've got a one-score game as the Jets put 3 up on the board. Now it's Washington 9, New York Jets 3, as the Jets are going to kick it off to the Washington Redskins. And that'll be where we get to see the Washington offense. It's actually been able to move the ball down the field, but really has struggled to push it in there in the red zone. So Washington Redskins come back out with heat. And what do we think on this drive? We haven't seen a ton of the running game, but it's been effective when they give them a chance.
I mean, they've been able to do both, man. So the defense has to respect the running and the passing game right now for the Redskins, and that's great for Washington because they're up 9-3, and they're going to want to slow the tempo of this game down and keep the clock moving and really just control the pace. So I expect another dose of some heavy run attacks. I mean, obviously they've had success. They haven't really gone to it, but now you've had to respect the passing game, so you can't really just come out and just only respect the run. You have to respect both. As he's going to take his deep shot early down the field, deep interception by the New York Jets. That's a game changer. That's Gilchrist.
And that's another splash play, folks. Heap with a ill-advised throw there. The zone coverage they had over top the whole way. It turned into almost a punt situation there, as it was one-on-one, but the defender had the coverage and just not much happening there. As Lockhart's getting ran backwards.
Oh my gosh!
So to get that big splash play and then your running back to run backwards 8 yards is not what the Jets need right now, as they had the momentum change, but a big stuff on the run play definitely takes that momentum right back.
Sonny, I got to know, why does Washington take that shot right there? Up 9-3. The tempo and the pace all favor you. I don't think it was time to take that shot at all. I think they were unstoppable on the run, and they were able to pick up the 3rd and shorts on the ground. So I'm really just confused at why they would even take that shot this early right now.
Yeah, I think that's a case of overthinking yourself. So you come out and you expect them to think you're going to run. So then you outthink yourself and decide you're going to pass deep. And so the Jets came out, were ready for that. And big turnover there that could really change the outcome of this game.
Yeah, but the only problem is the Jets can get sacked even when they run a toss play, because they picked up, lost 6 or 7 yards on that run play to Lockhart. They really got to just drive the ball up the middle. It doesn't seem like the outside runs are really, and it looked like they had a break with Y heading across the middle of the field. That was Robbie Anderson on a post. It looked like he was going to be wide open, but Gabriel Woodson's internal clock's going off, and he's got to get rid of it early.
Yeah, Woodson's really not been on the last couple throws he's tried to make in this game, and so the Jets are going to punt it after getting the big turnover. Luckily for the Redskins, it doesn't come back to bite them. Crowder on the return tries to make a move there. He's going to bring it out to the 34-yard line. So after what we talked about, trying to go on a little longer drive, maybe getting the running game involved, Washington took the shot, had the interception, but it doesn't hurt them. Now we get Washington and Heat coming back out. Do we expect them to finally, run the ball?
Yeah, they need to keep it on the ground, man. They've had success doing it. Give a little dose of Matt Jones. There goes Matt Jones. He stumbles and picks up 8. And a toss play, Lockhart running downhill, loses 8. Explain that one to me, Sonny.
There's not a whole lot to explain there. That's a little bit of want and desire, and it looks like Matt Jones wants to get those yards, and Lockhart just out there running around on the field. Not sure what he's doing out there. So Matt Jones, the stumbling machine there, falling forward for 8 yards. Setting up here in an I formation with 3 wide, and he changing the play as he sees press. Wonder if this is going to be a shot play. Instead, no, it's going to be a draw play, but nobody on the Jets team was biting on it. So Jones is going to get stuffed for 2 yards on the play.
I like that play by Washington. It didn't work out for him, but I think that was the right call to audible into a draw, because that gives the perception that you might be going downfield. And just that little bit of insecurity on the defensive side of the ball, and might open up some opportunities for this Washington Redskin offense as they look to go a whiff. And there goes number 85 down the sideline, gets to about the 43-yard line. Wow, it looked like he had the screen open on the left side of the field, and then he throws back to the right, almost gets it picked, and picks up a big gain for a first down.
Yeah, that was really actually a dangerous throw. The cornerback misplayed that, as it looked like he was thinking pick 6 there, but not happening. So instead, Washington picks up the first down to the 43-yard line of the New York Jets. Keep moving Marshall from right to left, and it's going to be a handoff to Jones. Jones falls forward for about a yard on the play, so it's going to be 2nd and 9. 23 seconds left here in the third quarter, and this is kind of the clock-draining drive we talked about earlier in this quarter that Washington needed to go on to kind of ice this game from the Jets.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Decadog said in the chat probably about a couple minutes ago. Going to get one right here at NBL Network, clock-eating drive for a touchdown. And I think that would be really deflating, Sonny, for this New York Jets defense if they come down here and they end up putting points on the board. But if they eat up enough clock, even a field goal could be pretty devastating for this New York Jets team right now, who's just failed to conjure up any kind of offense thus far.
And so they run the misdirection there with the play action quick. They drop it underneath. He drops it off to his wide receiver, and that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Here on NBL Live, Washington leading the New York Jets 9-3, and so that's going to set up 3rd and inches here for the Redskins.
Big stop for for the New York Jets right here. If they can hold the Redskins to not picking up a first down, it'll be a potentially missable field goal for this Washington team and keep the Jets right back in this game.
So Heap setting up under center, handing the ball off to Jones. And big hole there for Matt Jones. Not what I expected from this New York Jets defense as Jones picks the first down easily. And I think I could have ran through that hole.
Yeah, I just didn't like the package. They come out in a jumbo set, and it just didn't look like the Jets really matched up to the personnel that the Washington Redskins brought on the field that said, hey, I'm about to run the ball. And the Jets said, well, you know what, we don't believe you. And then they went and ran and picked it up, and here comes the Wildcat handoff to Keith Marshall to the outside. Nowhere to go. Wildcat not today for Keith Marshall. Only 3 carries for only 3 yards. So not a very productive day for a halfback that dropped over 1,000 yards last season.
Yeah, the Wildcat fell wild flat on the play, and that's my cheap pun of the day as he sets up under center.
Nice.
He sets up, and he's going to throw the ball easy open cross,
wow.
and he's going to make a play for the touchdown. Washington Redskins. Easy play there, pass and catch, Heap to his tight end, and that may put it out of reach for the New York Jets.
That's just a situation where you're asking an outside linebacker to come from the line of scrimmage, drop back into coverage and defend a tight end, and Richard Rodgers has all the kinds of athleticism that you need to be a tight end in the NBL. And he made a pay. Now they're going to go for 2. You know why they're going for 2? Because they want to go up 14 right now. Let's see if they pick it up. A fake fullback dive, halfback flip, touchdown Washington. And that's Keith Marshall. And he gets the 2-point conversion, Sonny. Do you like that fake fullback dive, halfback flip? A little risky for me. But, man, they're all in the Jets' head right now. And I don't think the Jets stand a chance at coming back at this point.
Now, Washington's getting crazy up here as they lay the big boom there. Big old hit stick.
Number 51 tells him, hey, there's a wall there. As number 20 Wiggins hits the ground, and he doesn't look like he's going to want to be returning kicks much more in this game because, man, this Washington Redskins special teams, they've been lighting people up in green thus far.
Yeah, and so here we go. The Jets down 3-17. I think this is where we're going to get Delvar and his coaching staff back to the roots, taking those shots downfield. Woodson's going to drop back here, throwing across the field to Anderson, so that's down to the 36-yard line. Only 7 on the play, and down 2 touchdowns with 4:50 left. They're going to have to kind of hurry this up. A little bit of pace here going forward.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of team this New York Jets team is. They're very young, but this is a point in the game where if you pick up the pace just a little bit and put some points on the board, you give yourself a nice opportunity. As I saw a seam route to Smallwood, wide open, but instead he goes to the hitch to Robbie Anderson. But, man, that tight end seam was so open, and that's the second quarterback today that really missed the open man right in front of the field.
And that's surprising. Normally the tight end is a young quarterback's best friend, but so far this game, Reed has been a big fan of Heap so far, but those seam routes just not getting noticed by these quarterbacks. Woodson on.
If Delvar didn't have enough pressure on him already, Tott's in the chat right now saying, damn, man, come on, off the fingertips of Dye Jr. as he tries to take a bomb, but Tott says, damn, Delvar, come on, man. So Tott's even hitting that Washington Redskins bandwagon right now, man. This is not looking good for the New York Jets and this Delvar franchise.
No, not at all, and that was Dye Jr. on the deep play. Normally that would be Robbie Anderson, like we mentioned early in the game. Not really in the game plan for the deep shots in this game. So Woodson throwing deep, and as I say that, The
beautiful.
ball is completed to Robbie Anderson down the 38-yard line. So Anderson coming up big there for the New York Jets.
Yeah, nice little quick post against the cover 6, got wide open, and Woodson had him. But I think that was his first read. So I think Woodson's problem is he feels a little tight in the pocket. He thinks the defense is coming at him. His internal clock's going off early, and anything past that first read, it just doesn't look like he's been able to get it off this entire game. He's really been shook in the pocket because of this Washington Redskins front line.
Yeah, Woodson
pick
having
up
a
the
lot of
blitz?
issues getting it off there. So Pimentel with the reception down the center of the field, and that's going to take it down to the 16-yard line. Good completion there by Woodson.
Yeah, nice throw by Gabe Woodson right there, picking up a big first down, man. But he had blocking. They picked up the block and allowed that to happen.
Very much so. So they're in a tight there set. Woodson dropping back from it, throwing quick to Anderson. And Anderson, after talking about being more of a decoy in this game, has really come alive here.
There it goes. And he's putting the team on his back.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson, wow.
The coaching staff, I don't think, can help themselves. Even when they say he's not in the game plan, they got to go back to the sideline and say, that's our man. We're going to feed him the ball. So they feed the ball to Robbie Anderson and brings him within a score here. And now the Washington Redskins are in a precarious position where they've got to try to keep moving the ball down the field. Don't let the Jets get it back. But at the same time, they got to take some time off this clock.
And here's my question. Did Tot motivate Delvar's team right there, to get it together and make this a little bit more of an entertaining ball game to watch?
Oh, I definitely believe so. I believe that Tout, one of the great motivators in NBL history, really got in Delvar's ear there. So I expect big things with Tout backing Delvar going forward.
Just don't let him run your team in free agency.
No, not at all. Matt Jones, the predictable 1st and 10 handoff with a 7-point lead here late in the fourth gets you -2 yards on the handoff to Matt Jones.
And here we go, fellas. We got ourselves a game, 2nd and 12. Washington's up 7, 3:18, 3:16 left. Just over 3 minutes. And it's really going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, and like you said, we've had some exciting NBL live games, some high scoring, some low scoring, but they've all been within reach here in the fourth quarter. So you can't ask for much more than that as he drops back here on 2nd down with pressure coming up the middle. And that's a big sack and a big splash play by Muhammad Wilkerson on the play.
And Muhammad Wilkerson's on the NBL magazine cover right now. You can find it on @BomberLeague on Twitter. This guy made the cover, and we haven't seen much from him today, but maybe it's going to be a big fourth quarter appearance. That's right, volume number 134 featured Muhammad Wilkerson and the New York Jets, who are appearing on this game in NBL Live, and now it's 3rd and 21.
And that's going to be a screen pass, but he couldn't corral it in quick enough, so Thompson with the screen pass couldn't quite bring it in, and now the New York Jets are going to get this ball back with a lot of time on the clock to try to tie this up.
Dub, I'm a Jets fan right now. You know what I'm saying, Sonny? I'm looking around, and I'm saying, please, don't throw the bomb on the first play and throw a pick and just put us right back in the situation. Let's move the ball down the field a little bit and get some rhythm going on offense, and then find our guy Robbie Anderson, who's been leading this team all year, and let's take this game into OT.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a Robbie Anderson moment coming up here. Now let's see how long Woodson can hold himself off from trying to bomb it deep to Anderson. So Woodson will come out here. It's going to be a 4 wide set, shotgun set. Lockhart to the left of Woodson, dropping back on the 1st down, throwing it outside, and that was a way off throw by Woodson there.
A little bit of a heat check for Gabriel Woodson. Throws a 5-yard pass and throws it like he's 50 yards in front of him. So got to bring it back in. This is a young quarterback. There's some growing pains still going on with Gabriel Woodson. He's 24 years old. He's only been in the league a couple seasons. This is his 2nd season. 1st round 6 pick overall in NBL season 20 rookie draft.
And so we get dueling play action quick plays there. This one a little bit more successful. Set up 3rd and 6 here. 2 minutes left on the 49-yard line. New York Jets with all their timeouts. And now if you're the New York Jets, you got to make sure you score here. But you don't want to score with too much time on the clock. Washington does have all of their timeouts and would only need a field goal to win the game if they do score here.
If I'm New York, I'm just looking at trying to pick up this 1st down right now. That's going to be the difficulty for this New York Jets franchise thus far.
And they put the ball downfield to Old Smallwood. And
don't make me say his nickname, because he's coming up big. Big play from Smallwood. And wow, that was a tough catch in traffic right there, man. I'm very impressed by this number 89 on this New York Jets team.
Yeah, Smallwood coming up big there. And Smallwood could be the player of the game. I'm not sure sure where we stand with that right now, but Smallwood coming up big here as the Jets set up on 1st and 10. Coleman in the backfield with Lockhart. Pistol set, looking at Anunwa in the slot there. Keep an eye on him. So Woodson rolling out, flag down, thrown to Anunwa.
Gonna be a holding.
That's coming back, and so that's an untimely holding call there by the New York Jets. So it's going to set them up at 1st and 20 from the 44-yard line.
Well, I mean, if they're not taking sacks, they're holding. So it just seems like this New York Jets team has just been a thorn in their own side this entire game, Sonny.
The Jets have constantly had a struggle of getting out of their own way, and we see it yet again as they drop back. Woodson slinging it down to dive. Wow. Beautiful throw there, and that was a big-time play for the young quarterback, Woodson.
How impressed are you with Dante Dye Jr.? This was a guy in free agency that wasn't approached by any teams. They went into preseason. He was still out there. They decided to bring him in and give him a try. 26 years old. He only had 13 catches with the Saints last year for 227. This year, he has over 20 catches. As there he goes again, finds his man Robbie Anderson over the middle of the field, and he's punching the air because it's about to get real. 50 seconds left, 10-yard line, 1st and 10. Here comes the Jets.
Robbie Anderson. I'll tell you what, the coaching staff, I guess they outsmarted themselves coming into the game. They figure out late in this game, it's the Robbie Anderson show. So we get that pistol set once again. Coleman and Lockhart in the backfield. You've got Woodson, pistol set about 5 yards back of the play. Dropping back here, short drop, throwing the ball.
Maybe on the defense. Oh, wow, that hurts. That was a touchdown.
That's a heartbreaker, folks, as the Jets get a holding call the second time on the drive, pushing them back to the 20-yard line. And with 34 seconds left in all their timeouts, the New York Jets, that one, if they lose this game, is gonna haunt them for quite a while.
Well, this is what you call home cooking when your home field doesn't like you, because they are really hurting this team with these flags and these penalties thus far. Can Gabriel Woodson get something going here 1st and 20 and make another magical play? I don't know.
He's dancing in the pocket. He's throwing it downfield, and Smallwood in triple coverage can't come down with it. Not a great idea to throw that ball if you're Gabriel Woodson.
I think he's all out of tricks in the bag right now. I don't know how much he's got left up his sleeve, but Gabriel Woodson has been driving the ball to Smallwood all game, and he's been giving us a little bit of Robbie Anderson. So it's going to be up to Robbie Anderson to make a big play right here. We know the Jets have that ability to make big plays down the stretch.
So they hand the ball to
yes.
Lockhart with the big hole there. Crazy play call there by the New York Jets, handing it off. Crazy like a fox, I would guess you would say. So 3rd and 8 Jets with 2 timeouts left, 25 seconds. And this is touchdown or bust right here for the Jets. 2 plays to get in the end zone. Look to your man, Robbie Anderson here. Woodson dropping back, time in the pocket, dancing in the pocket, pressure coming.
There's the interception. It's over.
Right to the linebacker.
That's what happens. He was staring at him the whole time. He had Smallwood coming across the field and didn't even give him a real look. And he was waiting for, was that Robbie Anderson?
Oh, I believe that was a noon one. I think Anderson lined up wide out to the left there.
And he completely stared a noon one down. And that's tough right there. That's just a tough for the New York Jets. And that's just a young quarterback, 24 years old. As we said, he's still growing in the NBL.
Yeah, that's one that I think the coaching staff and Woodson are going to regret after this game. So, looks like this game's going to end Washington on top 17-10, and they're going to come out your Week 6 victors. As we tick down to the end of this game, Bomber, NBL Live Player of the Game, who do you have?
It's going to be tough to make a call on this, but I think I'm going to go with Josh Norman in that interception. I think he had a big play at a big point of the game, and I think if they would have completed that pass deep down the field, we could be looking at a different game right now. This drive might have been an opportunity for them to win the game. They would have kicked the field goal and possibly won the game. So I think Josh Norman came out and played great on defense, and this defense was so suffocating to this New York Jets offense, they never really got off the ground.
And there you have it, folks. Josh Norman, your NBL Live Week 6 Player of the Game. Final here in New York. Washington 17, Jets 10. I thank everybody for tuning in here to NBL Live. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook for future telecasts here from the NBL Network. For me, Bomber, and Gibbs in the background, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.